Okay, look at all this cool stuff. The mailman finally came. I got a box of capacitors here, ready to go. Then I also got my 2700 ferrite capacitor. The only thing I screwed up on, I don't think it'll hurt anything. It's a little bit bigger than the one that's in here. The ferrite's the same, but this is a. I wasn't paying attention when I ordered it. I bought a 16 volt instead of a 6.3 volt. But as long as the voltage is higher than what the old one is, it doesn't hurt a thing. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's better, as it'll handle more, so it doesn't hurt anything, and I don't think it'll be a problem fitting it. So and I'm still debating if I want to change all the capacitors, because they're not the worst in the world. They're not the best, but that's the only one that's bulging. I'm going to take that one off and I'm going to check it with my tester here and just see what it is, and then maybe I'll desolder one or two more, just do a random check. I don't know, it depends on how hard they come off, because for some odd reason I can't find, I found all my soldering tools, but I cannot find my desoldering wick, and that really makes a big difference when you got that. Well, I do have a sucker, I got a couple solder suckers here, but they don't work as good as that wick stuff that I got. And I did go to my local hardware store. Of course, they didn't have any in stock. Surprise, surprise. So at least they had some flux though, because I was getting low on flux. So that'll help a lot. What else do I got going on? In case I do decide to do all the capacitors, I did make myself a nice little diagram here. That way I know exactly where each one is and what the value is, so I don't get anything mixed up. But I do have that. You always want to take a picture before you start a project like this. That way you don't forget what goes where. If you let's see, what else do I got going on. I did get my new Titanium, or I shouldn't say new, used Titanium processor in the mail. He packaged it really well. There's no bent pins or nothing. I did not try it out yet. I want to at least get that capacitor changed before I even try it out. In the last video we did confirm that the motherboard still has some life in it yet, when I checked it with this CPU. And believe it or not, I did come across the original CPU that was in it. I think I delidded it for better heat to get. I was hoping by delidding it, it would come back to life, but that wasn't the problem. But anyway, just to confirm it, I put this CPU back in, and when I boot it, let's see, where's the book here? And when I boot it, I get 4 red lights. So there's definitely something wrong with that CPU, because when I put that CPU in, that's what I get. I get 4 red lights, and this is what it says. So I'm assuming that processor is gone. So hopefully this one I got on eBay used is still good. We'll find out. So anyway, I'm gonna for sure change that one capacitor, and maybe just randomly pull another one and do a random check and just see how things are. I'm not going to record me soldering because I'm already a nervous wreck soldering. I don't need to do that on camera. So that's my plan anyway. I got my old Radio Shack digital soldering station out. I got to retin my tip. That's getting a little grimy. It's been a while since I've done any soldering, so we'll see how this goes. Well, considering I don't solder a whole lot, and I think my tip's a little bit big for doing what I'm doing, it don't look too bad. I for sure changed this capacitor, this 2700 ferrite, and I pulled this one and I checked it, and this one's pretty good yet. It's within specs, so I'm gonna take a chance and say the rest of these are fine because these are the same ones. So, but that 2700 was definitely bad. See, here's a brand new 2700. Even the new ones have never dead on. That one's 2.8. So, but that's within specs. That's the brand new one. And if we check the old one that I pulled out here, it was way off. So I'm assuming that was probably part of my CPU problem. Yeah, I can't even get a 1 out of it. So that was definitely... So I'm hoping that's what caused that first CPU to go bye-bye. So anyway, we got a nice brand new one of these, yeah. So it's a little bigger, but there's plenty of room on that motherboard. It fits pretty nice. I think it looks pretty nice where it's at, so it shouldn't be an issue. And it's a higher voltage one, so that should last a little longer. So I think I'm just going to change that one for now. I'm going to slap that CPU in and see if she'll still work. Just to be on the safe side, I don't think I'm going to put this titanium in there just yet. If I'm going to sacrifice anything, I want to sacrifice this old Celeron. So it means I just got done soldering on the board. I'm going to put the old Celeron in there and make sure we boot up first. So I'm not going to get too fussy here. Just a little something, just enough to test things out here. Okay, stick of RAM. There we go. Set this off to the side before I wreck it. Get a little power here. And what do I do with my... I lost my power button. Let me take a quick pause here. Okay, same as before, just mouse and keyboard, video card, my little power button here. Moment of truth, let's see if anything smokes. Ooh, what do we got going on here? Alright, now we got 3 little red lights. What does 3 little red lights mean? 3 red lights and a green. Doesn't like the video card. Must not have the video card in alright. Alrighty, reseated the video card. Let's see if it... Aha! Oh, had me scared for a minute there. Alrighty, so far that looks good. Okay. So it is booting up. Alrighty, I guess it's time for the new CPU. Okay, here we go. See if this used CPU that I bought is any good. Check for any bent pins. Pins all look good, nice and straight. Looks good. There we go. Pushing up here. Just want to make sure this is nice and clean. No fingerprints, no dust, no dirt. The cleaner you can get this, the better. That looks pretty decent. Same with your heat sink, make sure it's nice and clean. Things evaporate a little bit. Alright, time for the good stuff. See how many nasty YouTube comments I get about this. Everybody's always got their own opinion on this thermal paste. Me, I like to just spread it nice and thin and evenly. Get everything, you know, don't overdo it. Just make sure you get all the that don't look too bad. I think I can live with that. Oh, I hate these. I don't know what they was thinking in the 90s when they came up with this clip idea. All I know is I hate it. You actually got to take a screwdriver and really, oh boy, if you slip at that screwdriver, that's the end of your motherboard. Boy, that sure is being stubborn. I'll try this other screwdriver. Seems like I had better luck last time with this one. Oh, come on. Oh, why does that gotta go on so hard? I hate them things. Get a little help here. Oh, come on. Oh. Whew. Yeah, that one's definitely... I thought this a little different heat sink, but boy, it's got a hell of a spring on it. Looks good, looks good. Okay, put my stick of RAM back in. So how many of you guys' butts out there were puckered as I was pushing that on? I know mine was, sure was. Well, alrighty, moment of truth. Let's see if this new Titanium works. Cross the fingers. Ah, relief. Pentium 3, 1.4 gigahertz. Nice. Oh, 1.45. Ooh. Alrighty, so CPU is a success. Alrighty. Well, now that I'm fairly certain that everything is going to work okay, I think it's time to take that case I got out to the garage, blow some dust out of it, get it prepped and ready to go. Okay, the case has been somewhat cleaned out and prepped. That newer power supply, I'm definitely going to leave that in there. That's an AVG 500 watt. That's a good power supply, no problems there. I'm going to leave the floppy drive and the front card reader in there and the two DVD drives. It seems like my sister mentioned she was having problems with them. I don't know, I'll leave them in there for now and I'll just try them out. We'll see how it works. So let's start putting the board in. Unfortunately, I can't believe I did that. I lost the original back faceplate for this. I found something kind of close. I think it'll work okay. Let's see. So I got some kind of plate on there. This one is one you screw in, you don't pop in. But I think it'll work. So we're going to try it out anyway. Let's see if I leave that in first. And I do believe I want this to run underneath. Get this where I want it here. Yes, that'll look fine. There. Let's see here. Let's see if that goes in there. Okay, I do believe that'll work. Looks pretty sharp in there. Let's see, how does that look back here? Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with that faceplate. Like I say, the motherboard will press up against it and hold it in there. So I think it'll be alright. Looks better than no back plate. I think that'll work okay. Alrighty, let me get it screwed down, and I got a whole bunch of wires to hook up, and we'll go from there. And again, I can't stress this enough, when you are building a retro gaming computer, of course, you know, it's a used motherboard, used RAM, used CPU, video cards can be used, but no reason not to use a new power supply. Gotta use a new power supply. And like I say, the only difference, I'm going to show this, I didn't show it last time. Most newer motherboards are 24 pin. Well, again, this board is only 20 pin, so you take that extra 4 pins off, take a zip tie and just zip it back. I'll cut that off later, but yeah, see, then this will fit right in there, no problem. They kept that all the same. There. And then, let's see, what was I going to show here? I'll have to dig into this some more. You do get Molex connectors, but sometimes you run a little short of them, and then you got, like I say, you got all these extra SATA power cables. Well, what if you need more Molex? Well, you can buy adapters for these. That'll plug into the, see, they're L-shaped. That'll plug into there, and then you have more Molex. So that's how that works. So there's no reason, like I say, you'll have a whole bunch of extra cables, like this is for Pentium 4 and newer motherboards. You just don't use these power connectors because back in them days the processors didn't need that extra power, so so you just tie them up and you don't use them. So that's how that works. Well, if I really wanted to, I could use one of these. This one is still good yet. Western Digital does make good hard drives. But whenever I can, I'd rather use these. This is one of the first SSD drives I bought. This one's only 100, how big is it? 128 gigabyte, but for Windows ME, that's plenty big. If I remember correctly, ME is somewhat similar to 98, and I think there's a 120, I think there's like a 120 or 130 gigabyte limit on them hard drives. I can't remember for sure. It gets weird and finicky back in them days. There's memory limits and all kinds of stuff. So when I can, I like to use this, but these older motherboards have no SATA ports. So what you got to do, you got to get something like this. This will convert. Let's see, get out of the package here. So far I've had pretty good luck with these. They don't do the best soldering job on these, but they always seem to work. Yeah, I mean, you think my soldering is bad, but they always seem to work okay. But yeah, it converts that back to the old style IDE, so that'll be my hard drive in there anyway. Well, I do believe I just about got it ready for the first boot. I'm going to continue to use this video card for now. It's not bad. It's a GeForce 4000, I think, or something like that. The only downside is it's PCI instead of AGP. I do got a friend that had some old leftover parts. He's sending some stuff for me in the mail. I'm a little short on RAM. I got two 128 sticks in there for a total of 256 gigs of RAM. That should be enough to get it going. Also, the same friend, he's sending me a bunch of sticks of RAM. So I got that all hooked up. Did a little bit of cable management. I'm going to take a chance and try them DVD ROMs out, see if they still work. I removed the card reader because this motherboard only has one header for front USB, so I just took it out. And luckily I still had the faceplate, so that all looks good there, so no problems there. I got my SSD mounted in here, right there, with my IDE, SATA to IDE adapter. That's all hooked up. I hooked the floppy drive up again. I didn't have it hooked up for my sister because that motherboard did not have a floppy drive hookup, so I do believe it should be pretty much ready for setting things up. Well, look at that. I spent about an hour looking. I found the original reinstall CD for this sucker, so that's kind of nice. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's shareware now anyway because Windows ME is expired, but it's just, I'm still going to try it. It ain't really scratched or anything, so we'll give that a try. And then I could not find the original CD for that motherboard, but I went to the MSI has really good support for their old hardware yet, so I got all their drivers and utilities for that. So I guess time to see if this sucker will start smoking, huh? See if we got everything hooked right. So far so good. Yeah, I must have some LED lights wrong. Let's see, hard drive light. Okay, main thing is it booted, but I definitely got some wires crossed for the LEDs on the front. So it does boot. So let's see. Well, as long as it's running, we'll get the BIOS set up at least. Let's see. Let's do F2. Oh, okay, that hard drive still has Windows 7 on it. We definitely don't want that. I'll have to reformat that. But let's get into the BIOS first. Well, at least I know it recognizes the hard drive. That's good. So that's all good stuff. Let's see here. Let's get the date set. Today is January 15. Almost 18 years later. Time. Let's see. I assume they want military time. 18. Close enough. Let's see. RAM looks good. So that should be good there. That's good. Let's see, yeah, first boot to floppy. No, we want CD-ROM second. And ID, yeah, that's good. Let's see. Yeah, I want that in smart. Let's see, I can't remember. Do I want that enabled for SSD or not? I know you want it enabled for regular hard drives. I'll have to double check that. Let's see here. Everything else looks good. Okay. Oops. That looks okay. I think we're just going to leave that stuff alone. And we're going to leave that stuff alone. That all looks good. Enabled. Audio's enabled. Good, good, good. How's this sucker doing now? Ooh, wow, I did notice that. If you remember in the previous video, the 12 volt side was actually a little bit low, and now it's might be a hair high. And the 3.3 volt is a tick high too. How come we don't have CPU fan RPM? Maybe that fan doesn't have. So okay, that all looks good. I wonder if I should load high performance defaults. Sure, why not? Let's take a chance on it. Okay, let's double check everything. Good, 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 good. Quick boot. Floppy. Listen, I want the CD-ROM next, and then there we go. Now we'll leave that. I like to be able to see that when it comes up. Let's see. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. Let's see. Leave that alone. Alrighty, let's get ready to save and exit. Ugh, that CD-ROM does sound sick. Let's see if she'll boot from CD. I'm going to let it check the RAM at least once, making sure that all the RAM is good. Never hurts, that old used stuff, you never know. And it should boot from the CD-ROM, hopefully. Oh, yep, there we go. Boot from the CD. Let's see, I think I'm going to have to completely format Let's see, let's just start. I think I can just format it. Okay, enter to continue. Remove files, yes, okay. And yep, we definitely want large disk support. Why would we need that when it's booting from CD? Oh, whatever. No, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that top CD-ROM. Maybe it was the burner she was complaining about, I don't know. Oh, good deal. Formatting drive C. Well, I'm assuming this is going to take a little while, so I'll get back to you. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see, make sure this is still where I need it to be. Oh yeah. It still amazes me though how patient we had to be back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, compared to installing Windows 10 or Linux nowadays on Core i5s and Core i7s with SSDs and M.2 drives or NVMe drives, it's just, man, you gotta have a lot of patience when you're playing with this older stuff. Well, I don't think I'm going to make you guys sit through all this, so I'll probably just skip through most of the setting it up, and I'll get back to you when I get something going here. We are getting closer. So far, no crashes, no screw-ups, but we got a little ways to go yet. We got drivers and all kinds of stuff to install yet. We'll get there. Okay. This should be the final boot. I just installed the last of the drivers. I don't know why he thinks it's got to do a memory test every time, but it must be. No blue screens. It's been pretty successful. And there we go. I have my Windows ME machine going. Looking pretty good. I'll check the drivers here. Yep, all drivers are good. Alrighty. Other than installing some more software and maybe some games and stuff, I do got a friend sending me some more RAM. I want to get this up to at least 512. I don't think there's any point in going beyond that. I think Windows ME is the same as 98. It gets very unstable and does weird things when you go past 512. I also have some different video cards coming, some AGP video cards coming, so that'll help with some of the gaming stuff. Maybe a little bit more cable management, but all in all, everything is green across the board. Everything's running real good. So, guess the next thing to do is put some side panels on it and give it a good final shot. There, that looks a bit better. Yeah, I don't know. It is a little bit scuffed up, but I don't know. Overall, it looks like a pretty good shape. And then, of course, back in my teens, I'd add some bullet holes to it. I don't know why, but I did. But yeah, I'd call that a success. All good to go. So that's the end of this video.